My background is I spent my career in video games. So I started a company, sold it, worked for a lot of different studios, and eventually led the game Fortnite. So we had this tremendous opportunity to reach hundreds of millions of people and entertain them. And after I left Epic and started thinking about what I wanted to do to make the world a better place, I realized that the same technology and approaches that we used in Fortnite could be applied to change the lives of kids for the better.
How so?
Going back to Helena, when I left Epic, I met Henry. Henry introduced me to Daniel Schmachtenberger. And he told me about the meta crisis and everything going wrong in the world. And I had the realization that government could not solve all of the problems that we're dealing with. That probably the way to do it was to try to make better humans and give people the ability to think critically, have life skills, have a basic education, be enfranchised in the world so they have hope, they have a dream, they can do something meaningful. So with that really was the genesis of the company, where I started to think about how to make it real and how to make it something that could have impact. And
what do you think got you thinking about making a difference in the world, getting involved, using your time and energy and your resources to do that instead of just sort of enjoying life? And
yeah, well, I took some time off, and in 6 months I did everything I thought I wanted to do, and realized it had no meaning. I mean, you enjoy it for a little while, but there's no challenge, there's no purpose. I have 4 daughters, and I look at the world, and educational outcomes are getting worse. There's conflict everywhere. Our social fabric is being undermined. People have negative norms. I don't mean to be negative, but
no, it's actually accurate.
Yeah, there are a lot of things
picture.
going wrong in the world, and I realized that I had this incredibly rare privilege to be a part of something so big and reach so many people, and that the things we learned in doing that could be applied for good. And I felt called. I felt I had to do it. And at first I felt I had to figure it out ahead of time. And I came to a point where I realized that wasn't necessary. All I had to do was commit.
I sense there's a theme emerging. You already mentioned the word, but it's purpose.
Yeah.
You're acting out of purpose, and you're creating purpose, and you want to sort of share that with others and have others feel the power of purpose.
Yeah, I think, if you have no ability to participate in society, right? So you can't read, you're illiterate, you don't have an education, you don't know anything about how the world works, what's your future? What do you do with your life? You maybe take state money or government support. Maybe you get involved in crime. Maybe you just suffer and you're impoverished. And I think that the deep human truth is that we all need some way to contribute and to provide. And the way that technology has changed how people contribute has caused a massive divide where some people are really well positioned, maybe 15, 20% of the people. Somewhere in the middle, they might be okay. And then, probably 50% are going to have a very difficult time. So, my kids are very lucky. Many other kids have a great education, good family, good schools. But so many people don't. And if they don't, how do they have meaning? How do they have purpose?
If I've been asking a few of the other guests the same question, if you could sort of create society from scratch and you had that opportunity, what core values would you inject into that new world? You've already talked about purpose and contribution. I think those are powerful and
I think
in
that
short supply.
I mean, I think that it would be for people to live in harmony with the life they're presented. So whatever it is, if you think about the hand of cards you have, it's not about, I wish I had a better hand of cards, it's how do I play it, right? And of course, some people have very difficult circumstances and some people have great ones. But I think the common truth is that if we live our lives with grace and commitment and faith, and we have to do the work, and we try to contribute to society, that brings happiness. And the rest of it doesn't really matter. The rest of it, we're too focused on influencers, we're too focused on material wealth. And those things can be great, but they don't provide that deeper meaning and satisfaction. So I think maybe the easier way to say it is, if we could reorient towards a set of values that are different from consensus reality, where we're saying you have to achieve these things or be validated by society. And so you work towards that, and that's what counts. And instead focus on the ability to pursue that meaning and that purpose.
And sort of an alternative to the dominant narrative.
That's right. That's right.
Finally, you were saying that through your work on video games and production, you found some sort of tools and ideas that could work with what you do now with education. I'm wondering, were you always, sensible to these deep truths and these values of sort of creating harmony and purpose for others, or is that something that came through success or just the luxury of time?
I think I always had a certain orientation towards that, but I was busy, living my life and raising my children and trying to build that life in the way everybody else does too. Absolutely. And I think it took a combination of having some freedom, and frankly having some level of a crisis where I worked so much that I jeopardized my health. And I had a moment where I realized that if I keep on that path and if I keep working that way, that I'm going to, frankly, probably I would kill myself. My health had been kind of going down and down and down, and my wife came to me once and said, look, without you, it doesn't matter.
It's nice to know that.
Yeah, it is nice to know that. And it caused me to really reorient and change my focus. And I think that brings everything, makes it clear. And it makes it so there's no other way you can spend your time. It's your family, your friends, doing something meaningful for the world. That's it. That's all that matters.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us and sharing this.
My pleasure.
It's inspiring and mind-blowing at the same time to sort of the simplicity of it, right? Family, friends, trying to make a difference.
That's right.
And so it's very much appreciated.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.